Hello and welcome to hobby vlog number 167. Now this week's been a bit of a tough one for me. I've been suffering quite badly with some anxiety for quite a lot of the week, which has really knocked me. But I'm starting to come out of it now. You'll see in the vlog, but I'll say again now that I have given myself a challenge today. I've been working since 7, it's now about 10:30, to do as much of the Osgiliath starter box as I can in a day. And I'm having a lot of fun, apart from the hero models are horrible. Absolutely horrible to build, but yeah, I'm cracking on with it. So I'm just taking a quick break from that to do the vlog, and then I'll get back to it, and I'm going to spend pretty much the entire day working on that. Anxiety is something which does affect me sometimes. I'm sure it affects a lot of people, yeah, you just have to learn to deal with it, don't you? And we deal with it in different ways. Anyway, enough rambling. I really hope you enjoy this video. There's a fair few little bits and pieces. Rosie once again got me back to the hobby bench much more than I probably would have done. She's a diamond, she really is. But yeah, enjoy the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you again at the end. Right, so what I've decided to do is mount the eagle to the base before I do any more painting. You can see that the eagle is primed and the hole at the bottom is filled. So what I'm going to do is drill a hole in this base, stick, oh, I just dropped my drill bit, which is going to have gone who knows where, so I'll have a look for that in a second, and I'll drill off picture. But I'll drill a hole, put this wire through, and then stick it in place. So let me find my drill bit that I just dropped and get the hole drilled, and then I'll show you how I'm going to actually attach it. Right, so I found that drill bit, but I ended up having to use it in a manual pin vise because I didn't have a small enough thing to hold it inside the powered one. But anyway, so I've drilled that through very carefully, so you can see there that that's going to fit through that hole. And if we go through to the side, let's get it to about the right height. That's about as high as I want it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend that underneath. So now that will stay there. So I'm going to need to weight this down a little bit, and how I'm going to do that is on the other side, on the inside, I'm going to get some green stuff or milliput, probably milliput, and secure that with milliput. So first of all, probably going to get a little bit of super glue, put a dab of super glue in there, and the same as I did when I was doing the actual eagle, and then I'll put a lump of milliput across to hold it in place. And then on this side we're going to have to make sure that it's actually going to be able to be stable, but I will work that out once I've glued it in place. So yeah, I'll get some super glue, some milliput, glue that in, and I'll show you what it looks like when it is done. But that would be nice and easy to do, I think. So I put some baking soda on the super glue, and that hardened it up nicely. And what I've now got, what I've done here is I've made up a bit of the milliput, and I am going to put milliput and spread that to secure that other bit of the wire. Just make sure that it flattens down nicely so that it is not causing there to be a little bit of a wobble on the base. So that's that. So that one, I'll hold that in place, and I mixed up enough milliput. I'm going to do more on this base than I normally do, but I've mixed up enough milliput just so that I can kind of like put it around the bottom of the wire as it comes through on the top side as well. So we will now let that milliput dry. Once that's all set, I'll paint the bird, and then I'll work on the base. And my thought for the base now is trim off the bottom of some smaller trees, put a couple of smaller trees, and then make use of this, which was actually in an SBG sander from last year, but I've still got. Basically make it look so it looks like this bird is flying right over over a lot of like forested area. So yeah, but I'll bend the wire into shape, as I've said already. But I'll let that go off now, and then get to painting. Well, the wash went well, and what I'm doing now is going through and cleaning up and ready to assemble. And I did just think I almost snipped off this bottom bit here on the around the face, around the head, and then realise suddenly, no, don't cut that off. So just do pay attention. I think there is a bit there actually I can remove. That's a little bit of sprue, but just pay attention when you're cleaning this up that you don't remove the bottom of the jaw, because the jaws actually kind of fit in like that to it, and that's the tongue in the middle. So that wasn't very clear there. Yeah, so they kind of glue like that. I've not yet snipped these out of their sprue, but everything else is coming along very nicely. Lots and lots of people complain hugely about Finecast, but I find it so easy to work with. I really actually quite like it, and so far this is proving to go together very, very well, with very few problems. So yeah, I'm going to keep cleaning up. Just use normal super glue, and then once it's assembled I will prime and then paint. So yeah, so I've only got a couple more things to snip off these two, both sides of the head, and then I can actually start sticking it together. And I've come up with some really nice ideas for the basing, which is obviously, as you know, the thing that I enjoy the most about all these things. But yeah, very, very cool to be getting stuck into this. This is the kind of low impact hobbying I need to do right now, with still recovering from that horrible flu. So that went together very, very nicely. And I've also just finished doing the filling, which there was very, very little filling needed. I made use of my Mr. Dissolve putty, and very pleased indeed with how that looks. I really think that that's come together very nicely. I'm just currently debating whether I'm going to stick it to the base or not. I think I'm not going to, because it's going to be a little bit difficult to get in underneath. But one thing I did want to show is the one bit of warping that I've got, which actually I don't mind in the slightest because of how I'm going to do the base, but the tail is a little bit low, and if you want to have these flats to the base, you're going to need to get some hot water, certainly on my one, and kind of bend that a bit. But I think I don't care. I think I'm going to be mounting this to the base slightly up, and I will build in contours to my basing material to fill the gaps under these two legs. So yeah, if you did want it to be flat, you just need to put this in hot water, and then when it's bit softer, press down, hold it, and then it will obviously stay in the position that you want it. But for me, I don't really care, but that's really cool. So I'm going to just let my filler dry, which is very nearly done, and then prime and paint, and then I will start doing the basing. So I'll bring you along for that when I've got the basing, when I've got that painted and ready to put it onto the base. But yeah, I might do the positioning of it before. I might get my milliput, which I'm going to use underneath these feet, and just press it in and then take it off, and then that means I can easily fit it back in place. So yeah, I might do that. I might just quickly get some milliput and do that, because then I can start to prime the base and build the base up, because I'll know where the feet are going to be. So there we are. Change my mind live on camera as I do. Get myself some milliput, build up the underneath where these two are going to go, and then I can work on the base at the same time as I work on the actual Drake. But yeah, coming on really, really nicely. And once again, people to complain about Finecast, just think you're wrong. That's been absolutely spot on to put together. Really easy, no trouble. All the gates easy to clean, really easy to work with. So yeah, let's crack on with it. So what I'm going to do now is start to decorate the base, and then I will take the actual Drake to go and be painted, because I needed the Drake to be in here so I could position everything correctly. And what I've got is I've got these cool stones. They're actually from my driveway, and they're basically quartz, very nice and shiny. And I'm going to put those on the base so that it looks like this is in the crystal caverns. So I've got these two positioned nicely. I'm going to initially put them in with super glue, if there's any left in this tube, which I don't think there is. No, let's get some more super glue. So I'm going to initially position them with super glue, and then I will use a bit more milliput and what have you to build up around it, so that it's got a bit more of a bedded in. I have some really big chunks like this, but that's just too big really. It's going to overwhelm it, so they'll be safe for another project. There we are, got some super glue there. So yeah, we'll just glue these ones in place, as I say, initially, and once that's dry and set, then I'll come along with my milliput and I'll put some more milliput just around just to smooth it all out. So the one that's going to be the most difficult is this one I'm doing now because it isn't actually stable, so I'm going to need to support it a bit. So I know where it needs to go now, so I'll put that in the position I want and lean it up against something like that. There we are. So I will leave those to set, and as I say, bring it back when I come to the milliputting. I have one other thing I want to add on as well, but I don't know whether it's going to work. So I'm going to just spend a little bit of time thinking about that. But basically, the other thing that I've got that I'm going to need to soak in glue is this, which is an old wasp nest that I pulled off. We have lots of these wood wasps, and I thought that might be quite cool to kind of put on this base as well, but I'm going to need to toughen it up, so I'll probably have to soak that in some glue, and then when that comes out of the glue, see how it is, and if it's going to work then I'll do it, and if it's not then I'll let you know. But I thought that might be quite cool as well. Anyway, let's let that super glue go off, and I'll bring you back for the milliputting very shortly. Right, so the next step is going to be to paint, to put some colour on the sand, and I'm just going to show Rosie how I want this to be done. You need to be watching what I'm doing, little bobbit. Look, we're going to come along here, and you've got to be very careful. You're going to paint just the sand. Do you see?
Okay, not this.
Not the figure. We'll do the figure afterwards. I need to get some paint for the figure, which is why I've not done it yet.
I like a grey.
Yeah, well, we're going to try and get some silver for the figure. But yeah. Right, so yeah, so what you do, you take a little bit of paint, and this is my terrain paint, so it's PVA mixed with water and a little bit of dish soap, and then the paint as well. And that is what we want to end up with. Okay, you see? So you could do the next one. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a little bit of paint, and you do it. Go for it. You only remember how I showed you how. Remember how I showed you how to hold your paintbrush? You get more control like that. Very good. Right, so we're going to paint for all the rest. They're all going to be done in this cut base, and we're also going to paint these bases as well, and also the tree base. And Rosie is going to do it all. So I'll pop some music on or something, and we can enjoy it.
I haven't got music.
Right, well, I've starting to get back into it, get a little bit of energy. So today I had a little bit of time, and I have carved out both sides. This is just one side, obviously, both sides with the third level of my hideout, and I think it's looking quite nice. You've got the kind of the flatlands coming into a cliff, and I think I'm gonna look to smooth it out quite a lot for the next side. So I have a little bit more of a, maybe have this as a promontory, and then have a bit of a flat area here, and then the next couple of layers after this one, I think I'll probably go up again and have the castle, because yeah, I wanted to maybe 5 or 6 levels, but I wanted to be a little more interesting than just cliffs flat, which is rubbish. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. I do need to bear in mind at all times I want to have tunnels in this, as I've said. Now I've not done any entrances on these levels yet, which I will do eventually. There'll probably be an entrance in at some point. So I don't want to have. I need to have the bulk. I need to have volume, which I can then cut into for all of the different like passageways that are going to go inside. But also, like I said, I don't want it to look too boring. So I think I might try in this one to kind of smooth this cliff off a bit. Maybe have a little bit of a flat area here. And then, as I say, build up into a bigger, into the fortress, which will sit right on the top. I'm working in this way as I was before, using the sharp knife, and yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. Let me get the other section out and show you what that looks like now as well. So here we are, this is the other side. As you can see, I've got a really big slab of a cliff here, which I think is, as I said in the other one, I'm going to have it rising up towards this side. So this is where the castle is going to fit, is going to be above here. I've got the path that I started to carve in, which is quite cool. So that's going to be, it's going to be like a little rope ladder there, and potentially even it might go inside the it might even be where it starts to go inside the actual the hill, so that could be one of the entrances. But yeah, pretty pleased with how this side's looking as well, with this kind of stepped approach. Quite good. I'm happy with that. So yeah, I'm just going to keep carving. It's using a lot of material, but because it's separate, each one shouldn't end up being too heavy, and there won't be all that much scenicking to be done on each level, because really all you're going to be doing is scenicking the front sections, aren't you? And the inside will be just painted black, and then with the actual walkways and halls and what have you carved out in the middle. So it shouldn't end up being too heavy, just take up a lot of space, but I have got quite a bit of space for storage. Anyway, I'm going to crack on, do another 3 or 4 layers, and then we should be ready for the next step. So I'll bring you back when I've done that. Right, here we are, and we're about to get a little bit more hobby time, aren't we, Roo? So, as you've just asked me, why have I put sticky stuff all over the bottom? So I've just spent about half an hour, thought it would take me 5 minutes, putting masking on the base. And the reason we put masking on the base like this is we're about to paint the figures, and we don't want to get lots of grey paint all over the bottom, do we? So this will mean that when we paint this, we won't get grey paint on the soil, and it will keep them looking nice and neat. Now you need to stop jumping like that, because if you fall off and hurt yourself, I'll look very bad on camera and you won't be very happy. So just stand normally like I've told you. So let me show you what we're going to do. I'll do the first one and you can do the rest. So we've got just some normal house paint here, and what we're going to do is we're going to paint all over it with this grey.
You can do that one, because I'm not able to do that.
You will do. You'll do all the others though, won't you?
Yeah.
Now I don't know how well this is going to stick. So it might be that this is a failed experiment as well, but that's what this is. I'm hoping that it works. So we're just going to paint all over in grey like that. Okay. Wait for it. You can do the next one.
I know.
You know what you're doing now, and then when they're done, we'll put them over there. So you do the next one. There we are, this one. You've got paint on it. You paint that. If you pick it up and hold it by the base. If you hold it by the base where you're not going to paint, then you won't get paint on your fingers. So paint all over all of it. There you go. Paint the whole of the figure grey. Very good. Have we got a Xena coming in? I think we have. We've got a Xena and a Lulu and a Thelma. Come on in, pups. Yes, the whole family's here, and Angela's off to art. So here are the doggos. There's a Lulu and a Xena and a Thelma. So when you painted that one, when you finished, oh, make sure you don't get paint on your top, because we forgot to change your jumper, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right, you get a little bit more paint. Actually, you've got enough on there. Just make sure, don't. That's it. Perfect. Very good. Right, don't go in the water. I've put a little bit of water in there. You need to get paint, not water. I probably shouldn't have put as much water as I did in there. I might empty that out. There we are. Use that now, and I'll tip some of that water away because it's a bit wet. There we are. I'm going to go to shaky cam so that we can see what you're doing. Hey, very good. There we are. So we're going to paint all of these in grey, and when that's dried, then I'll put some varnish on, and then we'll do a bit of a dry brush, I think. And yeah, so say goodbye, Lulu, and Zuna, and Thelma. And there's Rosie.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, good girl. Didn't work. So what we're doing is we're putting flocking on, and Rosie is doing very well, as you can see. So pop your brush down here and then do your sprinkles on. So this is using the homemade sprinkles. Cover it all over. And that's it, done. Good, right, next one. Next one. There's your brush. Get yourself some glue. The dirty lid. We don't like that, do we? Paint your glue all over. That's it. Very good. All over there, so you've got plenty of glue on that now. Right, let's put the brush down over here and put the sprinkles on it. There we are, that's enough. And last but not least, we're going to do the bottom of the tree. So get yourself some glue.
I enjoyed painting the figures.
You did enjoy painting the figures, did you? Good. So we're going to put glue all over the base of that. So get some more glue. Careful not to get it on the tree if you can help it. Get some more glue on your brush. Oops. That's it. A little bit more glue needed. A little bit more glue. That's it. And then in where you've missed it, that's it. Spread that all around. Good. Right, take the brush, put it down here, and throw your sprinkles on it. That's it. Done. Right, we'll leave that for a little while, a fair few hours, and then we'll come back and seal it. Okay, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good girl.
I want to do some more hobbying.
You want to do some more hobbying? Well, let's see what we can find. So Rosie wanted to do some more hobbying, and the next hobby idea I've come up with is, this is one of your Christmas presents, wasn't it, Rosie? Yeah, and so we're going to make a little garage for the little remote control car. So I've just gone and found a box. This is a box for a part of a filter for our swimming pool. So the idea is, yes you can when I'm showing you what you're going to do. So the idea is, what we're going to have is we're going to use this box pretty much as it is. I was thinking about cutting doors in it. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to stick the sides here to the base and then have that as a way to drive in. And then I'm going to cut out down that angle there, like that. And then the roof is going to be like a little pitched roof, slightly pitched roof, and we'll stick that on like that. So if you can draw along the line like I just did, just down here. There we are. Very good. So what we'll do now is we'll get scissors, and you can very carefully help me do this cutting. So let me just grab the scissors.
I don't want to get myself hurt.
No, you don't want to get yourself hurt, but with Daddy's help it's fine. So let me show you how I'm going to do it, and then we'll do the other side together. So how I'm going to do it is I'm going to come along like this and go snip. It's actually quite hard. This is double thickness cardboard, so it might actually be that's a little bit difficult for you to do. Do you want me to do the other side, love? Do you want to help? Do you want to try and help? Right, be very careful. Put your hands with mine. Put your hands on top of mine. That's it. And we can press together. So 3, 2, 1. Squeeze! Squeeze! Very good. There we are. Right, I'll put those scissors out the way. So now, if you see, that now goes down at an angle like that, which looks really nice. And the car can drive in and out quite nicely. So to secure these together initially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some glue, which you can help me with, and then I'm going to get some masking tape to mask over. And what we'll probably do is cut some windows in the side as well, so there's a little bit more light.
It's going to take a very long time.
It is going to take a very long time, but things that are worth doing are worth doing right, aren't they, darling?
It'll take big time.
Oh, it'll take longer than that, darling. Right, so let me grab some masking tape. Right, so I need your help on this bit, Roo. What I need you to do is take this glue. Wait a second. Take this glue and help me with this. If you hold it, we're going to put some glue, thank you, all the way along the top of this. Like that.
Why?
Because what's going to happen is that is going to go like that, you see? Yes. And then what I'll do, we'll get some masking tape and we'll hold it down with masking tape. Okay?
And some here.
And the same on the other side, yes, so careful. So let's do that side together. You won't be able to pull that up because this is stuck down now. So let's do it again together. Just run a bead down here. That's it, very good. Stop. And then we'll get some masking tape. We'll pull that across and we'll get some masking tape to hold it.
Don't fly.
There we are, it will. Good. So we've got the front of our little garage. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use masking tape on these. I'm going to turn this over.
Like our garage.
Our garage, exactly. Our garage, yeah. So we're going to turn it over. This is now upside down. And we're just going to put a little bit of glue on this side again, just at this edge. Watch. Boop. Like that. And that will now glue that. And we'll get a little bit of masking tape just to hold this secure. And the same on the other side, yes. So do you want to help?
Yeah.
Good girl. So put a little bit of glue along the edge. There we are. And then we'll pull it in. Get some masking tape. And hold it in place. There we are. So if we...
I haven't got any on my hand.
That's very good. So if we turn that over, okay, what we've got is the beginnings of a garage. There we are, so that can drive in there. That will be able to drive in there because it does go up.
We need to paint.
We need to paint when we're ready to paint, but are we ready to paint yet?
Yes.
No, we're not, because this isn't dry yet, is it? So we need to leave it now for a little while, and then when it's finished, we can come, when this is dry, we can come and do the next step, okay?
Okay, I want
Good
to do
girl.
more hobby.
Well, I don't think there's anything else to do, love. We have to find something else to do now to have fun on Daddy Saturday. You're going to say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Give a big wave. Wave, wave, wave. There it is, round there. Wave in front of this. Go. Bye. Good girl. This project is going to be a lot of fun, but it strikes me that there's going to be a fair few bits that Rosie's not really going to be able to do. Like the bit I'm doing now. So there's going to be a lot of cutting with sharp knives. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trimming off this overlap, which I should have done before gluing, but I didn't think it through. It's the problem with starting a project before you're really ready to start. She was so keen to hobby, and this was the next thing on the list. So we're just going to trim that off. I've done the other side already, just using a very sharp knife and a straight blade to make sure it cuts nicely. There we are. And that will then just make that a little bit more of a kind of a nice looking shape there. And I'm not going to do this cutting yet, because I'm going to do this when Rosie's with me. But what I would like to do, and I don't want to completely undo my masking tape yet either, but what I'd like to do is have a little bit of an opening area here, which I'll be able to put some plastic in to make it look like windows. So again, using my 90 degree, what I'm going to do is draw some lines on where I think I'm going to do the window, and we will put extra cardboard, so I'll sandwich the plastic window between cardboard, which will also help cover up that little gap there. So if I do that, 5 to 13, and then turn that around, go up here and do 5 to 13, there we are. What I'll do is I'll cut that window out, and then like I say, I'll build some shuttering around it, which or build another layer of cardboard around it and put some clear plastic in, and that'll be a nice window on the top. So as I say, I'm just going to do the marking out of this for now, and I will do the cutting when Rosie's here, but it's going to have to be me doing the cutting, not her, unfortunately. Oh, one thing I should add as well is I put a pin in from at the top here, and I'm going to put another pin in here just to make that a little bit more secure. So yeah, but I did put a pin already in the top, and I didn't measure how high it was, did I? So I kind of did it at a random height off the floor. 3. That's all right then. Good. So if we do it 3. And then it's going to be 5 to 13 again. And then how high did I do it? I did it 13 and a half, or actually, yeah, 13. Nice. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun little project, this. I wasn't planning on doing this for a little while, to be honest. I wanted to make some more designs in my head before I did it, but as you saw, Rosie was insistent on doing more hobbying, and I don't force her to hobby, and in the same way, if she wants to, I try to have something for her to do. So yeah. I may also do some more windows in the back, but for now I'm just going to do those. So when they're cut out, you can see that we're going to have a lot more light coming in. Let me just drag that back a bit. We'll have a lot more light coming in here. You'll be able to see a little bit better. And like I say, I might do some more windows on the sides. The roof I'm going to do a roof out of the black, thin black foam. This stuff, which looks a little bit like like tarmac or whatever. So that will be like a nice flat roof, and I'll probably do that as a flat roof as well. Put a nice sign on top for Rosie, and then just paint it up. And I think it'll be really nice. So yeah, going to get some pins and just pin these in place. I just used dress pins for this. So let's do this while I'm on camera as well. So dress pins are really good for this kind of thing. So we'll just push it through into the cardboard, if it'll work. And that will just hold that a little bit more securely than just the glue. But the wood glue will do, PVA will do a good job. And then, as I said before, I'll be putting some cardboard over the top and all around it to make that a little bit more secure and look a bit more 3D. Probably going to cover the whole of this with more cardboard actually. It's almost to be quite hard wearing. But for now, getting the rough shape, and her little car can fit in really nicely. Well, here's my beast of a belt sandal that I picked up, which I probably need for lots more things than just this, but I did buy it only to strip this off. It really has been an expensive mistake not having a very good dam. So I'm going to give it a go. I won't have the sound on. I will put some music and we'll see how well this works. So unfortunately I scared Rosie because she came up to see me and the noise was very, very loud and it terrified her. But it does look like it is working. So I'm going to stop now because I don't want to scare Rosie anymore. But I'll do another couple of sessions of that. It was very, very messy. The collection bag burst already, but then that's cheap as anything anyway. So what I'll probably do is attach a hoover to that, a vacuum to that, and that will collect the dust better. But yeah, I think it's going to work. So big thumbs up. Hopefully we can get all this off in the next couple of days, and then I can move on to the next move on to the next project. But yeah, as I say, Rosie was a little bit scared, weren't you, love?
Yeah.
It was a bit noisy, that horrible noise when you came upstairs, and it scared you a little bit. But you're okay now, aren't you, darling? Yeah?
Where were you?
Pardon?
I didn't know where you were.
I know, but you could have found me by listening to the huge roar of that sander. Anyway, onwards. Well, it looks like these two are going to be my first finished miniatures of the year, because I finished painting them, so I just need to do the basing up. Really pleased how they've turned out, actually. And I've been reassured and reinforced in my plans to make use of these little trees to do the bases. So it's a bit late now, so I'll probably do it tomorrow. Or sometime in the next couple of days, but yeah, I should have these finished very soon, which is class, because my challenge was to, my aim is to count how many miniatures I finish painting through the year, and actually it's now it's the 14th of January and I've not finished a single miniature, which isn't a good start to the year, but sickness really prompted that. But we're cracking on, got these done now, so yeah, they can go onto the spreadsheet and get them based up in the next day or two. Mainly contrast paints with a little bit of Vallejo just for kind of like highlighting. Done a little bit of dry brushing on the back of this one, which I'm quite pleased with. So yeah, pretty happy with how they've turned out. As I say, mainly contrast paints, apart from the little details like the claws and the eyes and what have you. Anyway, there we are. So this isn't going to appear much in the vlog, so I'm just doing a quick snip here, because yesterday I washed all of the sprues from the Battle of Osgiliath starter box set. As you can see over here, I've got them all. And I've set myself a little challenge because I've been suffering quite a lot with anxiety and feeling quite rubbish. And it's already worked. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get as much of this assembled in one day, which is today, Sunday, as possible. So 7 AM I've been up, and I've started snipping off the sprues, and I'm just going to see how far I get. And I can tell you what, when I made the decision to do this yesterday, I was feeling pretty terrible, but now already I'm feeling a little bit more energized and a bit less nervous. So yeah, it's already worked, and I'm really excited to see what happens. But I'm not going to film, or I'm not going to put much of the footage onto the vlog, because I want to do a video of this and release it as quickly as possible. So you just have to wait out for that and watch out for that. But yeah, let's see how I go, I suppose. Next week on the vlog you'll find out whether I achieved it or not, but here's me starting. Well, there we are. As I say, a varied week, although a struggle for me. I hope that maybe that didn't come across. Reading, well, watching them back, it seems like I managed to keep my pecker up, as they say. But yeah, really has been a challenge this week. So it's really nice to do these videos and see that, you know, it hasn't been as bad as maybe it's felt like in here. And that's very important, isn't it? And just down here, all my Osgiliath stuff, going to get cracking back on once I finish editing this, and hopefully get everything finished today. But Rosie's a bit sick, sadly, so that's going to impact a little bit. I'm going to go spend a little bit of time with her, which is obviously very important to me. And I may even get some more hobbying with her done today, which will eat into this challenge. But hey, the challenge was to improve my mood, and it worked, as you can see from the smile on my face. Anyway, enough rambling. Thank you so much for watching, particularly if you got this far. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. I will close, as I always do, by saying if any of you are impacted directly or indirectly by the horrible war in Ukraine, still going on, it's nearly a year now, crazy, then my heart does go out to you and anyone that you know who may be. And to everyone, please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.